Hello friends, this is Anton, and you are on the Blackroom channel. As the founder of a company that specializes in creating premium home theaters, in this video, I want to share with you 10 of the most unusual and interesting solutions I have personally encountered during my 12 years of experience in creating such extraordinary projects of private premium home theaters. It will be really interesting, and such solutions are often unexpected in a home theater. So pour yourself your favorite tea, and let's get started. The first three solutions are related to one of my favorite and perhaps the most challenging in terms of finishing, yes, in acoustic finishing projects called Silver Keys. This project is, in itself, one big complex task and a spectacle when we look at these visualizations. Here, we found three not-so-obvious solutions. The first of them is the combination of a movie theater with a nightclub. Yes, it's clear that we now include karaoke systems in almost every project because people love to relax and they enjoy singing when celebrating certain occasions. But to ensure that the movie theater not only has a hidden karaoke system, but also features real professional disco lights, that is what truly enhances the celebration. It's not enough to just play a song and sing when you also turn on disco music and disco lights, which, with any pre-programmed professional scenario guiding you and creating a certain mood, it is a whole new level of enjoyment from singing karaoke. Well, the fact that you can play dance music and really dance, just like in a club, especially when there's an opportunity to clear space for a dance floor, is already super unusual in itself. And in this project, we have installed super professional lighting. Brands like Roby have utilized this European brand, which is used at real large concerts in professional dance clubs. These head devices, as they are called, have also been integrated along with a mirrored hemisphere, onto which several projectors are directed to create the effect of a classic disco from the 1970s and 1980s. The pinnacle of this light show is, of course, a professional smoke machine or hazer, which safely creates what is known as smoke, allowing you to fully enjoy dancing in the laser smoke. The second solution from this project, which you have probably already noticed in the visualizations, is a pole, a dance pole that is installed directly in the corner of the stage. Yes, this project also has a stage, and in a special curve and branch of this stage, which transitions into a relaxation area, there is a metal pole. And the most interesting thing is that this pole can be detached and removed quite easily. But the most interesting thing is that even when it is installed and you are sitting in the main seat watching a movie, it does not interfere with the viewing experience. It does not get in the way of the screen. Well, such a small pole, of course, does not affect the sound in any way, but it does reflect slightly in the video projection image. But again, it is removable, it can be taken out and carried away, and in principle, nothing will indicate that it can be installed in this room at all. Solution number 3 from this project is precisely the electronic analytical shooting range. My good friends, guys, partners from the Altair company, it was there that I met them, and I am grateful to fate for suggesting such a wonderful solution for home theaters to me. And now we also offer it in every project, showcasing it in our showrooms. In the current old showroom, not far from Sokolniki, and here in Kazariki, in the new showroom, in our pavilion together with MBM Billiards, here we have a full-fledged shooting range where you can come and shoot directly at the screen. It's practically a complete replacement for going hunting. Or you could say, for some kind of shooting range for shooting at clay pigeons, ducks, or tactical shooting. So, all these scenarios, plus of course a whole set of various children's games, like shooting at cowboys, shooting at some. There are also cartoonish targets available. So this offers maximum realism. If you love hunting and shooting but don't always have time for it, this solution in a home theater will allow you to unwind, release some steam, and practice to maintain your skills. And yes, friends, on this channel, we talk not only about unusual solutions but also about the specifics of creating such complex rooms. In fact, it's a whole engineering structure that we meticulously design, then build, finish, and equip with technology, install chairs, furniture, all necessary speakers, a huge number of subwoofers, and very professional electronics. And all of this is finely tuned. So, if you're interested in the topic, please don't forget. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss new videos. In fact, there are already over 300 videos on the channel, so if you're a newcomer, go ahead and check out the most interesting ones. I will leave some of them right here around me and in the link below this video in the description. Now we move on, and the next unusual solution is the entire hall, the movie theater project, near Tver. At the moment, it is still in the preparation stage for construction, but it is fully designed and ready. In this implementation, the hall where the client set a very challenging task stated that when I enter the hall, I want to feel like I'm in space. The most interesting part was that the house was designed around this movie theater because we had complete freedom. We could choose the dimensions of the room, the number of seats, and the ceiling height to accommodate the entire family of the client. There were also a number of variable requirements, but the design requirements and what we ultimately designed in the project is truly a kind of spectacle. And you really, when you sit in this hall and turn off some service main light and turn on the decorative light, you really start to feel and see as if you are actually flying in space. You are surrounded by stars, galaxies, and various other elements that can be found in outer space. This will be achieved through unusual solutions such as LED, starry sky, light guiding starry sky, and we even plan to incorporate the starry sky into the carpet. Such solutions exist, you won't believe it. There is also unusual painting with fluorescent paints directly on acoustic fabric. The weavings and galaxies you see here, we conducted all the necessary experiments and have already found a contractor who could implement it all. And now we have such a hall waiting for implementation. My hands are itching to actually make it and see how it will feel in reality when everything is ready. Such unusual solutions are encountered, and now we move on to the next one. Like this, if you would like to watch the movie Interstellar in such a hall, the next unusual solution I would like to highlight is a themed movie theater in the style of the movie Tron, which we implemented several years ago. And so, besides the fact that it all really looks very much like a photo visualization, these are actually real images, real photographs of what you see. And in principle, this is easily proven by the fact that I filmed a review of this hall on this YouTube channel. So I will also leave a link here. Later, you can go and take a look. This hall is unusual not only for its futuristic appearance, but also because all the lighting in the hall is made using LED technologies and LEDs. The boxes and strips, not only are they LED lights, but they were also made completely exclusively for this project. That is, the only standard items and materials used were the LED strips, which were selected for a specific task related to the particular profiles of the boxes we developed from scratch. We created various models to understand the optimal distance for placing the strip to achieve a nice, even glow, what level of matte finish to choose for the plexiglass, how to cut it, what width to use, and so on, in order to achieve the effect that was envisioned in the visualizations. Well, accordingly, to create these unusual curved elements from this plexiglass, we need to cut them out using CNC machining, in order to implement such a complex pattern with rounded edges on the ceiling. This hall is perhaps the most unusual, especially in terms of lighting. And what it allows to create with this hall is to generate any mood in the moment. And the client, when he was sitting next to me on the recliner during the presentation, I can really just take any moment, boom, turn on the red light. That's it. We have a party here with girls and everything. Then there's this bright, calm light, not too strong. And it's like a chill or relaxed vibe. You turn on some music or some kind of accompaniment and you find yourself in a completely different state. That's why this flexible RGB LED backlighting, even in a strip, allows for a lot of scenarios and flexible moods to be created in the same space, which already looks super unusual by itself. Now we move on to the next solution. The next project I would like to mention is actually quite unusual because it is designed in a historical heritage building in the Apricot Chambers. This is a house, if I'm not mistaken, from the 18th century, which had been abandoned for a long time and has now undergone reconstruction. Well, it has been designated as a private residence and the land has been sold. And it is precisely in the basement of this house, and as you know, in those times, basements always had vaulted ceilings. We designed a super movie theater. The whole point was that we couldn't touch these vaulted ceilings because they are actually protected by the state the whole history. They cannot be covered, and nothing can be attached to them or drilled into them. They can only be carefully painted in some light, and something can be attached to them. Creating something close to a reference home theater in such a space was a real challenge, and look at how elegantly we approached this task. We managed to create a ceiling structure that occupies part of this vaulted ceiling. It levels it out a bit, of course, and it is actually a self-supporting structure in which both acoustic panels and absorbing and diffusing materials are installed, along with all 6 Dolby Atmos speakers. It hangs by itself on special brackets that are attached through the ceiling to the first floor. It is a self-supporting structure that is covered with acoustic fabric, like this. An acoustic island on the ceiling, but only very large, and general lighting fixtures are also installed in it. It solves a lot of tasks in terms of acoustics, and look how neatly all the walls are covered with acoustic panels in one way or another. These are self-supporting and freestanding structures, and they are covered with acoustic fabric, but in reality, behind them are also some sound-absorbing and some diffusing panels, and of course the same self-supporting structure of the screen wall. We created the front area where the main acoustic systems are actually located. This is Malcolm's audio, and if I'm not mistaken, the system is also a full 916, and I believe there are 6 subwoofers. That is, there are 2 at the back because there was nowhere else to raise them at the top. At the back there is a video projector in the former window opening. So here's an interesting, cool room that I also feel inspired to realize. Unusual solution number 7. This is a high-performance media room that we have designed and are currently implementing near St. Petersburg. The project is called Coastal. It is an area that is essentially part of the house, which is not separated by a brick wall. It is somewhat different there. This is really an area that is enclosed by curtains. It has 3, I think, limitations, but there are large windows, so there will be blackout curtains everywhere. But the most interesting thing is that there will be a truly high-performance system based on Alcon's audio with a 3.0 processor, with a huge television, because objectively the viewing conditions, sometimes the windows will be open, and this is really a media room. This is a space that is integrated into a larger living area. Nearby, there is a living room, a dining room, and so on. We have accommodated here, as we like, the minimum number of subwoofers. These are 4 pieces, all hidden behind such minimalist finishes under acoustic fabric, and nothing seems to foreshadow trouble. But when this system plays, I assure you it can create concert-level sound pressure. But that's all right. The uniqueness actually lies in the fact that the viewing area is located in what is called a pit. There are 2 rows of seats, 2 rows of spectator places, and even the highest one is already minus 150, if I'm not mistaken, from the floor level of the rest of the house. And the next row, which is the first and main one, is located closer to the television, even lower, right in the pit. In other words, you descend as if you are in some kind of amphitheater. But such a small home setup, there will be full recliner chairs planned for it, our Atmos model of our production. And there, they are. Look how they fit so succinctly into the visualizations. This is an unusual solution for homes where there wasn't enough space to accommodate quality sound and a great big picture. You can designate a space in your common area and create a cozy home theater there, but with very powerful sound and superb picture quality. Moving on to the next project, it is also important to note that this is not a home theater, although you wouldn't say so from the photos. In fact, this hall was supposed to be a truly real home theater. 40 square meters, but in the end, the clients rethought the entire basement space and decided not to create a dedicated home theater, but instead to make a large common area of 80 square meters. They have already broken down the wall to create a media room where various celebrations, children's parties, and so on can be held. That is, a more versatile space, which they believed, and have now confirmed, will be used much more often than dedicated home theaters. This is indeed a media room, but a media room, again, that is super high performance because it is also equipped with an Alcon's audio system. In other words, this is indeed a powerful system that can perform essentially at the same 80 meters just as loudly as it would at 40 meters. But here we use exactly half of the space, and it is designated for the media zone. At the back, there is a bar, normal server equipment, and storage for some other items, and in general, a universal space for gatherings. What is unusual and interesting here, perhaps that we figured out how to hide the surround channels, ambient channels, and spatial channels, as well as the 2 rear subwoofers. Because, as you know, if you are subscribed to our channel, just having 2 or 3 subwoofers in the front is not enough to be sure that it will work out. To create a smooth, even bass throughout the viewing area, at least in one row, and here, to place the subwoofers somewhere behind the audience, we came up with these 2 half columns. The half columns, which start from the floor, have subwoofers hidden at the back, as you can see in the photos. They become thinner and change their geometry, tilting towards the listening area and rising upwards. They rise up and then seamlessly connect with the ceiling beam in exactly the same shape where 2 more speakers of the Dolby Atmos surround sound system reside. Behind you there is a letter P that actually hugs the wall ceiling, and in front there is the same letter P, which simply contains 4 speakers. There are 2 wide front channels and 2 ceiling speakers on the ceiling. Thus, a very elegant solution was achieved between them, between these ceiling beams, more correctly. We created a starry sky, and also made a starry sky backdrop in front of the screen, and they are all covered with essentially black fabric and transparent material, very elegantly and almost imperceptibly. The client's designer actually came up with an amazing solution, writing it all in line with the overall style of how this basement space for entertainment was envisioned. In my opinion, it turned out very gracefully and is indeed super correct in terms of acoustic placement. The only issue is that we had no place to put a couple more speakers for the rear surround, so we decided to simply forgo them. And in the end, we have a system but with voids. Not with rear surround speakers, but specifically with wide channels, which are actually quite rare. And now this project is in the finals of the CD Awards, an international competition for the best home theaters. We submitted it in the category of Best or Media Room. And just a week later, I am flying to London to personally attend this award ceremony. I don't know when this video will be released. By then, the result may already be known. We have our first highly commended award of the evening. Please give a round of applause for Blackroom Millennium. Nevertheless, I already consider reaching the finals a significant achievement for the Blackroom company and the entire Blackroom team that worked on this project. Guys, you are all amazing. A big hello and respect to you. The second to last unusual solution that we apply quite often in our projects, or at least offer, especially when clients have small children or growing kids, is that they love to perform, as we know. This solution involves creating a stage in front of the screen and making 2 rows of curtains. One row of curtains covers the projection screen and hides it, transforming the cinema into a theater. And the second row of curtains closes off the stage and allows you to jump out from behind these curtains or start some kind of performance by opening and closing the drapes. It's very interesting, elegant, and cool, and it adds charm to the movie theater even when the curtains are simply open. These 2 sets of curtains create a very cozy atmosphere and evoke the feeling of a performance. This was done in our project Veric 10 years ago, and just recently, the latest project in the village of Agalarov. His review is also available on the channel, Friends, so I will leave the link in the description. Check it out later if you're interested. And this project, yes, it also made it to the finals of the CD Awards. We also made it to the finals this year, so we have 2 projects in the finals, and, well, I hope that one or the other will win the award. And here it's a real theater, because in this hall there is also a dressing room for children on the right side of the screen where they can fully prepare, change, and then go on stage to perform some children's performances. I believe that when there are children in the family, such a solution when building a home theater is very justified, cool, and adds charm and new scenarios for using this space. The 10th solution is open architecture, the placement of all elements in the home theater, as we did in our showroom in Sokolniki at 2nd Rybninskaya, 13, and in one real project that was created in the image and likeness of our showroom in the Novogromov Hall. The only thing that has changed is that the hall is larger, in reality, and it accommodates 2 rows of full-size chairs. In every other aspect, the design is identical. What makes it cool and unusual, those who have visited our showroom always note that, upon entering this hall, there is an immediate sense of uniqueness, and the feeling that this is truly a movie theater, because there are many unusual cool things, and you can see the speakers that hang around suspended from the ceiling. You see all the infrastructure, all the essentially internal organs that we usually hide behind beautiful finishes and acoustically transparent fabrics. Many people really like this design, even though it is actually quite simple. You simply create even walls and add some decorative lighting. And what are even walls? They are a soundproof shell, and you just hang things on it. Now the channels of the environment, acoustic panels, well, already in a more, let's say, visually appealing systematic order, rather than just where you need them to be. The interior element is not difficult to achieve, and this open architecture really creates a wow effect when you enter and see such a hall with all these diffusers, these brutal Alcons audio speakers, and the huge subwoofers that are also openly placed at the back. It immediately gives the feeling that something amazing is waiting for you. By the way, this feeling won't deceive you. When we actually play demonstration videos or music from our Apple TV in our showroom, people always agree that they did not expect such an effect. So, friends, if you haven't visited us yet, and are considering creating a truly cool home theater, you understand that it's important to come and experience with your own ears and body all the power, might, and indescribable emotions from watching content and listening to such spectacular sound in a real home theater. So come visit. I am leaving all the contacts for the company Blackroom in the description. And of course, write in the comments which of the 10 or even 11 unusual solutions presented today in the field of home theater construction you liked, and it seemed the most interesting. If you have had any other solutions in the construction of your cinema or theater, please share that information in the comments. Well, as usual, you were with Anton on the Blackroom channel, the founder of the company Blackroom, and a big fan of everything related to home theaters and cinemas. See you in new videos. Goodbye, everyone.